Peace, be the myth. It's the Liquid Light Experience back at you again. I just want to talk about streaming and the streaming model as a whole, what it means for independent artists, business-wise, economically, and wealth-wise, as far as building generational wealth that you can pass on to your progeny, your kids, your grandkids, and putting a monetary tone to everything that you do. And the problem with streaming from the onset is, ever since Napster, is that you're not getting paid. So Napster basically was, people were able to take your music and just distribute it without getting paid. And then you have these platforms that emerge, and now it's coming to light that they emerge strictly for profit, like Apple Music, Spotify, and now Spotify has this new tier, this new payment tier, and at the same time, it's going to equate to them paying songwriters less. So already you had 1,000 streams per month to qualify for your 0.003 cents, payment. But on top of that, with this new move they're making, it's gonna pay songwriters even less. So from the onset, this thing was not meant to benefit artists economically, even though that was the marketing tactic that they used. And the question is, y'all, what are we gonna do as independent artists that are not signed to UMG, Sony Music, that are not signed to Warner Brothers, that want to run their own business, build independent wealth, and pass that wealth on to their children and their children's children down the line? It's a good question. We need to think it out. There are some platforms emerging that go straight to consumer. That I think is, well, I'm not going to say think, it is and has always been the proper business model for an independent artist. And Prince, ever since the 90s, was an advocate for artists breaking from the major music business model. And he was able to do that successfully on his own. Of course, he did make some deals along the way. But I think if you looked at his vision, his trajectory, and what he did, it might kind of give you a path, give you some inspiration on what is possible for us. Now the music has to be banging. Of course, you gotta know how to mix, you gotta know how to master, or you gotta have access to these things at a decent price. It's about having a competitive product. It's about knowing how to market. You gotta have a great marketing scheme, and you gotta have a platform for people to go to. So you might have to get into some Russell Brunson, learn how to funnel people in. You need a website, or you need a platform like Even or something like that, which is a platform for artists to go direct to consumer. My plan personally is to put half a song on streaming platforms for people just to check it out, and then direct them towards some place where they can, purchase the product at a decent price. But again, folks, brothers and sisters in the independent music industry, man, what are you gonna do? I wanna know. We need a coalition or something. We need to get together, brainstorm, see how we can generate real wealth from our art, what we do, and branch that out into other things. There's music, but as you know, there's at least other things. Fashion, our music is in everything. Film. What can we do to take this over? As far as I can see, Prince is right. you know, the majors ain't gonna be there for long, man. It's an unsustainable business model. You know, you got your streaming platforms, you got your majors where they want to get all the money from it. They don't want the independent artists to get any. Then they're giving their artists a little something. So independent artists can't thrive off of their art. Then how is there new art to be generated? You know, the artists you have now are going to age out. You have to keep it. A business has to keep innovating in order to stay stable. So if you're not innovating, you're just signing these artists based on algorithm and you know, social media algorithm and such. Then how is there innovation? Without innovation, a business cannot sustain itself. So, you know, and I'm talking about music, artist-wise. So we as independent artists, we're about innovation. A lot of us, you know, some of us are trying to fit in because we figure if we do that, we can get some streaming money, but that's over now. So it's time for us to do what we do. Innovate with creativity. It's time for us to get together, be as innovative as possible, create what we want to create, and get that money off of it, man. So let's bring